method with paper airplanes. We started off with our question. If I change the wings of airplane, what might happen? We did some research, read some books on paper airplanes, and you can see here the different pieces of it. So we read books on them. We did the hypothesis. If this happens, then this plane will go farther. If this happens, then the plane will not go as far. We did our experiment yesterday, and with our experiment you can see this is an example. So trial 1, the certain type of wing went 15 feet, went 13, went 16 feet, and we did an average of those. Trial 2, this one went an average of 20 feet, and trial 3, this one went an average of 20 feet. So you can see the differences in each of these. And then we graphed, okay, our graphed. Plane 1, there's our trials. Plane 2, there's our average, and plane 3, there's our average. So you can see them on these examples on this first page, okay? And then we had different variables, like if we added a paper clip to it, those could be changed. So we have the dependent variables. If I add a paper clip to, the independent variables, what causes the change? I changed the wings, I added a paper clip, I made it out of different paper. What caused the change? And the dependent variable is the independent variable causes that change. So the dependent variable doesn't change. I made the same paper airplane, but I changed the paper. The dependent is the same paper airplane. The independent would be the change in the paper. And the constant were the things that always remained the same. So in this case, we are now looking at the analysis. When your experiment is complete, you will want to analyze or look at your data to see if your hypothesis has been accepted or supported or has been rejected. So if you said that skinnier wings wouldn't make the plane fly as far, was that true or was that not true? Okay, so what information did you collect using observations and your senses? What did you see? I saw that with a paper clip, my plane fell to the floor quicker, something like that. That's something that I saw. Something I felt, there was wind in the air, which might have caused things to change. Okay, and then this one is what information did you collect using numbers, measurements, charts, and graphs. So you can go back and look at the graph that you made and the table that you made, and you can put down what information you collected. Well, I collected how far the plane flew. I collected what type of wing style I used, and I did several different trials, and I collected the paper, I collected the materials. So that's your quantitative data. Okay, your conclusion. This is kind of the summary of what you did. Why did you conduct this experiment? And don't say because Miss Shattuck told me to. The purpose of this experiment was to see if I changed the wings on a paper airplane, would my plane go farther or not? Okay, it kind of goes with your hypothesis, okay, or the question. The data I collected in my experiment showed me that if I changed my wings this way, it flew this far. That's the data you collected. What did it show? Your hypothesis was if I change the wings to look like this, then this will happen. Okay? Was it supported? Was it true, your hypothesis? Did you come up with a hypothesis that you can prove? I changed my wings this way, so yes, it went farther. Was it not supported? I changed my wings this way, but I thought it would go farther and it did not. Was it partially supported? It kind of worked, but because of wind, it didn't work the way I thought it would. Okay, so that's based on the data you collected. Okay, how could you improve this experiment? What could you do better? What could you make it better? Could you use different paper? Could you add a fan to make it go farther? How could you possibly improve this experiment? Another experiment, what what additional experiment could you do that's similar to this one that might prove or disprove your hypothesis? So if you could come up with another paper airplane experiment, how would you change it? How would you do it different? Okay, and that gives you quite a bit of paper there. So explain your experiment, the materials that you would use. Okay, and I also added the possible variables to manipulate so that you can add them to the additional experiment. Well, in this case, I could put a paper airplane with a paper clip on each wing to see if that causes the plane to go farther. So if I added weight, what would happen? Or if I changed paper, what would happen? Or if I went outside, what would happen? So this can help you figure out how to write an additional experiment that is related to this paper airplane experiment. Okay, so you need to fill out these sheets on your scientific experiment on paper airplanes.